Moto Vietnam, Episode 6, the final chapter. At this point in our journey, we're as far out in the jungle as we could get. In our last few days, throwing all plans and impossible routes we had mapped out the window, we were slowly soaking up whatever lush junglescape appeared around each next corner. The wilds of Vietnam had enveloped us, and we had become at home in them. This day was truly worth all the effort and planning it took to get here. Matthew remembers this as his favorite day of the trip. And for me, it was definitely my top 15. It's been an incredible trip, full of unexpected discoveries, both in discovering the beautiful culture of Vietnam, but also in finding out more about, well, everything. Ourselves, this planet we live on, humanity in general, the beauty and goodness to be found at the far corners of the earth. There were a lot of moving and powerful realizations to be had, and it's safe to say that at 2 weeks into our ride across Vietnam, we were having those. Now, I've intentionally avoided talking about the war up to this point, and that's mainly due to the fact that the war is all the West knows about this country. So I wanted to show what lies beyond our version of the story. However, in this final chapter, I think it's worth at least mentioning. The Vietnamese have largely moved on from that disaster, but there are still echoes of war to be heard in these mountains. Abandoned military complexes, bridges left in ruin, you can certainly see and feel the wake of the devastation. But one place we never saw it was in the faces of the people, which I believe is a powerful lesson. The bright and welcoming faces we encountered at every turn show the resilient spirit of the Vietnamese people. And I felt moved by that with every encounter. But anyway, that's not necessarily what this story is about. So let's get back to the adventure. Well, we're here in this place, the wet place, the side of the road, the beautiful jungle.
This is the picture next to the word lush in the dictionary.
Yes.
We've seen a dozen other motorists in the past several hours.
Yeah, this is pretty great. This is the backcountry that I was hoping for. This is the real Vietnam, maybe? We'll see. And we're going to a homestay?
We're going to a homestay. We're going way off the beaten track and staying with an indigenous tribe in the mountains and bungalows. Allegedly. It might be a 5-star resort with people in costumes.
It's a 5-star indigenous tribe.
Yeah. 5-star indigenous.
Indigenous tribe experience.
They have a really good Yelp score, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like an hour and a half to get there. The sun's about to set. It's super rainy, and this is going to be one of the most, yet again, epic ride part 17 of today.
Yes.
Let's do it. After spending the entire day riding through deserted mountain passes, we were catching a quick meal before arriving at our night's destination. We stopped at a vibey little shack for a couple bowls of boon with this dog, and some quality tunes to go with. We had a running joke about whether we were paying local prices or highly inflated.
Tourist tax status? Maybe, I don't know, that could have been accurate. 40,000 dong for 2 bowls of bone? Doesn't sound too off base. Now we're going to the Bu Hung Bungalow. We're going to be staying in a bed up on stilts, no, a room up on stilts, with thatched roofs, open air, up in the mountains. Apparently this tribe is one of the most preserved. I don't know how a tribe that comes up on Google Booking is well preserved, but apparently it's pretty legit, so we'll have to see.
Little did we know what danger was just around the corner. Well, we just had our first wreck. It was at about -1 miles per hour.
actually going in reverse, uphill, down, both right.
And the local villagers came to help us. Still unpleasant, but what are you gonna do?
Still trying to find the hotel.
Cannot find this place, and I think this is not it. But we did find it shortly thereafter. Our first casualty of the trip is sadly Matthew. He took a tough spill. Somehow I didn't actually get any cuts or scrapes that I'm aware of yet, but in trying to find this amazing place, following the directions of locals, this lady was like, I was like, boohoo, bungalows? She's like, oh, yeah. Points up this hill, and the hill just ends up almost vertical and is completely covered in slime.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I started losing traction, so I'm like gunning it more and more and more and going slower and slower. I crashed twice, and yeah. Oh, it was really rough, but we got the bike started again with the old jump start. And
pretty brutal wound on my elbow.
Yeah, let's take a look at
that. I don't know if you can see through all the blood, but
yeah, it's gushing.
It's rough.
Otherwise, best riding day of the trip for sure. High Van Pass can suck it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'll take that over the High Van Pass any day.
Yeah, the high tourist pass is what that is.
Exactly.
This one, no tourists whatsoever. It's just all the beauty and none of the bustle.
Not even very many locals, really. You're just out there by yourself.
Yeah. And this place is pretty cool. I think we're gonna like staying here. Maybe we'll just chill out here for the next 2 nights. Oh, look at this, water.
There's a beetle about the size of my fist flying around.
It's tormenting us. It went up and hit the fan, and then, oh my God. And then it was stunned, and we thought it was dead. How can we trick it into hitting the fan again?
I don't know. Didn't learn its lesson. The real question is it poisonous?
Put the glass over it.
I gotta do it?
Yeah, because I gotta film it.
What if
Put the glass over it and then scoop under it with the other one. Come on, carefully, slowly. Make sure. Okay, you got it. Let me see that.
It's playing dead. Or is it dead?
Again.
That's a legit big beetle.
Yeah.
Not quite my fist size, but.
Well, sure it is, yeah. Yep, there it is. That's it. Fist size.
It won't be able to resist the light. I've never been somewhere where I'm legit going to need a mosquito net.
It's kind of nice. They're friendly bugs.
Except for that poisonous.
It hasn't done anything wrong yet.
Highly poisonous. It hasn't done anything wrong.
As the rush of our near-death experience subsided, we began to reevaluate our lives. So, absolutely epic day. Okay, at this point, the use of the word epic is completely out of control. So as not to offend you further, there will be a courtesy censoring from here on out. So, absolutely day, gotta catch you up. Anyway, we've got a few stories for you. We're here at this indigenous tribe place. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's bug infested, which is kind of perfect. I guess that's the authenticity right there. Mm-hmm. The actual real bugs and the need of the bug net. So check this guy out. He was flying all around our room, and we caught him, and he's playing dead. Believe us, we fell for that once before.
He was poisonous. We just haven't determined how much.
And that's it for the insects, I guess. But we did have our first wreck of the trip. I guess go ahead and reenact that for us, Matthew.
So we were out in the middle of nowhere searching for this indigenous tribe, which we're staying at right now. We asked for directions. A lady pointed us up the hill. So we started going up the hill, and the hill started getting more and more and more straight up. And then I fell backwards.
Only in travel can wrecking your bike so quickly turn into an exciting memory. If adventure is what happens when things go wrong, then a good adventure is making the most out of that. And this was turning out to be a good adventure. From the mundane moments spent recharging in a hotel room to the wildly unexpected ones, traveling makes everything across the board much, much more vibrant. And it gives you a new ability to perceive both the simple and brilliant moments with new eyes. The simple beauty of an insect sloughing off its skin. Ah, Vietnam. So what'd you think of this setting?
It was very fun to stay out here. It was a unique experience. We haven't stayed anywhere like this. Truly felt like I was in the jungle, bugs and all, you know. Not so sure about the indigenous part, but
Oh, sure it is, yeah.
I mean, these
Modern
aren't
indigenous.
locals.
Fully recharged after our stay in the bungalows, we were ready to hit the road. But it seemed Matthew's bike hadn't recovered from last night's wreck.
Not getting anything.
However, I was fully prepared to jump on and try random things until I figured it out. And then, after extensive repairs and costly delays, we were finally on our way. Staying at Buhung was an absolute dream. We were the only guests, and the young lady who opened up for us had traveled all day to accommodate our last-minute reservation. In fact, our getting lost delayed us, and when we arrived, she had only gotten there 5 minutes earlier. We sat out overlooking the jungle drinking a rich oolong tea before bed, and in the morning, she made us a fantastic full breakfast. Now we were hitting the road for a half-day's ride into Da Nang, taking our time and really soaking in these final moments. I was eager to find some off-road areas to explore, as I had hoped to do much more trail riding on this trip. So every time I saw a trail leading off down a river, I'd double back and...
You wanna lead the way down this trail? I'll follow you.
We'd see how far we could take it. These moments, riding at random, no real time constraints, no certain objectives, they were absolutely amazing. It was hot and beautiful out, and we found quite a few trails to explore. Looking back, they all kind of blur into one big day, bouncing around and just enjoying being there. There was never a moment where it didn't feel surreal and overwhelmingly exciting to be on that journey. Friend Randy and I are really sharing a connection right now, so I wanted to share that with you. Sadly, he's tied to a tree, and there is what feels like a river between us. Come on, bud. You can do it. Come here. We stopped to fly the drone a number of times, but me being a total amateur and this my first drone, very little of the footage actually turned out, which was sad because I got some amazing shots. But hey, we had no idea what we were doing. This was one big experimental adventure for us. All in all, I'd say it was turning out to be a success.
You may be wondering why I've gathered you all here.
All our new friends here.
Hello.
And then it was on to the next stop. The beautiful moments were really stacking up today. Bye-bye. I am 99% sure those kids just stole my sunglasses, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Well, it's pretty much our last day of riding. We are headed toward Da Nang in the jungle here. It's pretty and was exactly the right word to describe it. We were having such an time. As I said, these little excursions we were taking off the road all blur together. I can't quite be sure if we went on 4, maybe 5 different trails. But they were all fantastic, unexpected little detours.
Oh, damn it! I think the best way to go is straight through.
These long stretches, just riding aimlessly, I can't imagine a better time. Especially when you have no idea where you're headed or what you'll find when you get there.
Doesn't get much more beautiful than this route here.
Anyway, life is tough. We're here on this river out in the middle of nowhere, followed some single track to get out here, and watching the fog roll in. It's kind of got a couple updates for you as we're backing up our footage here. Our eagle took a spill.
Got wounded in Nam. He's awaiting his Purple Heart.
What a beautiful countryside we were exploring. It was so peaceful and serene out here. And it was interesting to people watch as this route was a number of local villagers' daily commute. After backing up our SD cards in this beautiful setting, it was yet again time to hit the dusty trail, and our enthusiasm was at an all-trip high. From the moments we were spending now, wandering random trails, to the time we spent exploring pagodas and city streets, I don't think there was a wasted moment. Yes, we discovered we much preferred this off-the-beaten-path style of travel to the high-traffic tourist destinations, but we had a great time discovering that, so no time lost. We were not the same two people who started this trip weeks earlier, that much was for sure. But what had changed? Well, I think we're still figuring that out. Pagoda statue, absolutely amazing. Check this thing out. Here this thing is. We just honked this guy down off the side of the road and he's gonna hook us up with some bao buns. Looks pretty legit. If I could have bao for third breakfast every day, that'd be living. Oh man. That is delicious. That is filled with meat and veggies and goodness and a super soft doughy bun. All kinds of stuff. I don't even know what. Roadside eats. Yes. In what feels something like the opposite of a drive-through, we pulled over a bao bun vendor and got some delicious buns. How are they?
They're most excellent.
Another tragic fatality. The singular eagle of death metal was lost to a major pothole here. You can see. Just get what you can. Just get his heart. Just try and rescue him.
I'm sure we can glue him back together.
So sad.
It's so sad. He went down in a blaze of glory.
Get him strapped on here. It was clear to us that this was extremely symbolic, although one may never know quite what of. Anyway, we're back in Da Nang now, and as this trip is winding down, we've still got a few more magical moments to revel in before we call it. So stick around. Rented this dope, huge apartment for like, what, 30 bucks a night? 30. Huge. Not a terrible view. On second thought, maybe the powerful symbolism that Larry had for us was not that ambiguous after all. He seemed to bridge the gap between the history of Vietnam and our own personal backstories. Less on that later. So as you're reassembling our mascot, what are your thoughts on the past 2 weeks of Moto adventure?
I felt absolutely and entirely alive. I felt like before I left home, I was kind of in a slump, feeling, I don't know, very complacent. I felt anything but the past 2 weeks. There he lives on. Just fight another day.
But before we get all sad about this being over, there's still a bit more. Before we turn in our bikes, we've got 1 or 2 more rides left. Riding up Monkey Mountain right now, and just saw our first wild monkey crossing the road, which is like the equivalent of seeing Sasquatch in real life. I think. I mean, it's amazing. Wild monkey. How do you like Monkey Mountain?
It's pretty great. Lots of narrow roads, thick vegetation. I feel like I'm in Jumanji or something. Just zipping on through.
Monkey Mountain, or Suntraw Mountain, is home to at least 1 species of monkey. And if you get here early, you're sure to see many. We did not. I just saw a wild monkey. What accent is that? A wild monkey, and I pulled up to the side of the road and I stopped, and he just sat there a couple feet away and looked at me kind of from under the bushes, and then I saw another and ran back to see if I could get up close. This moment for me represents so much of life. A chase that often yields little, but a worthwhile chase nonetheless. Hunting monkeys on Monkey Mountain? If you don't capture one on film, did it ever really happen? Did you see a monkey? Was it a real experience? Should you have ever even tried? Life seems to be filled with things just like Monkey Mountain. Wonderful to imagine, but a little fantastic, fleeting, and out of reach. However, whether it's chasing monkeys or something a little more mundane, whatever you do, don't regret the chase, right? I mean, that's what I'm getting out of this. What do you think of the Monkey Mountain?
I'm digging it. Seeing a couple monkeys in the wild, which I've never done before. Getting some.
Is this your first time in your life you see monkey wild?
This is my first time in my life I see monkey wild.
Oh, you waited your whole life to see monkey wild, right?
I have waited my whole life. I just never thought it'd be in Vietnam.
Which was your favorite monkey you see?
Favorite monkey I saw was number 2. One of
monkey
two.
number 2.
Monkey number 2.
Very nice.
I saw him for longer.
Look at this place. How unbelievably lucky we are to have been here. I was gonna fly through the banyan tree, but my SD card is full. It's super sad. I forgot to bring it back up. So we're just gonna here, let's do this. Sadly, it's my last moments with the bike. Topping it off with some views of the city, some monkeys, giant statue, tons of tourists. Lovely, lovely. Well, we're reaching the end of our moto journey, 2 weeks across Vietnam.
It's been probably the most incredible experience of my life. I've seen things that I never thought I'd see and didn't know existed. Seen the most beautiful scenery I've ever encountered in my life. I've been made very uncomfortable and learned a lot from it. It's been a humbling experience. In a word,
in 2 words, AF. So what are your plans now?
I'm going to continue to head north. See what kind of adventure I can get into. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'll end up. Got a recommendation to go to Myanmar, Burma. Just might go there. I'm not sure. The world awaits. And I've extended my bike rental for at least another 2 weeks. So I'm just going to keep on riding.
I'm just gonna let this moment play out. Walking around looking for a final banh mi in Dene. I think we found one. Looking to successfully cross the street. Look at us, smiling like locals, ordering food like experts. You'd think we'd been here for days, weeks, months even. If only. Sadly, this is where we'll say farewell. It's been a fantastic journey, dare I say epic. Thanks for tagging along. I hope you've enjoyed this series and that it's inspired you to, if not travel, to watch my next travel series. And rewatch this one. I mean, I'd rewatch it.
This is a today. Banh mi in hand, tea in bag. About to dive in, see how this is.
Before parting ways, I gifted Matthew a few items he'd need to continue his journey. The first was a flippable coin to guide his way, as coins don't exist in Vietnam. And the second was 232.3 million dong in bribe money, in case he needed to bribe someone, or just needed more banh mi.
How much could a banh mi possibly cost?
How much could a banh mi possibly cost?
$10?
$100.
And without explaining that any further, the end.
About Vietnam or Asia that once you come here, you just never go back to your old life again. It's just too much, too stimulating. It's too exciting. You go back and there's just nothing.
Phenomenal.